Well, of course, we remember the wonderful and hilarious production of Rossini's Barber of Seville, produced by the Canadian Opera Company some weeks ago. There's his Allegro agitato for cello and piano, Massimo Polidori, the cellist, with Marco Cellini, the pianist. And you're with the Oasis here on the new Classical FM. Mark Wigmore here. And head to the website, classicalfm.ca, to win passes to the new Classical FM presentation of Canada Blooms, March 13th. Through the 22nd at the Enercare Centre, Exhibition Place, the amazing theme gardens, award-winning floral displays, vendors in the garden marketplace, 300 seminars to choose from, and your ticket to Canada Blooms also works for free same-day admission to the National Home Show. So break the winter blues with the new Classical FM. You could be winning tickets to Canada Blooms, and I will be broadcasting every weekday that week right there from the Enercare Centre, so do say hello. In moments, the Edmonton Wind Ensemble from the group's Snake Fence Country recording. And then baritone Gregory Finney will be here with a preview of this weekend's production of Gilbert and Sullivan's HMS Pinafore. It is 3 degrees in Toronto. The rain is just pouring down. 4 degrees in Cobourg, 3 degrees in Collingwood. At 3:22, we need to have a look at the roads on this rainy afternoon, and we'll check in with Mark DeLuca.
Thank you, Mark. And like you said, that rain is coming down across the GTA, causing some visibility issues on our roadway. So we're already seeing lots of volume on all of the major routes in and out of the city. Drivers are going a bit slower than usual, so just make sure to drive according to those conditions. Also, we do have a problem eastbound 401 Express at Yonge. There's a stalled vehicle in the right lane. And southbound 410 at Queen dealing with a crash in the left lane. In town, eastbound Lakeshore Boulevard at British Columbia. We have a crash in the left lane. Keep an eye out for that. And we're also dealing with problems at Islington and Finch, Gerrard west of Jones, and Highway 27 in Albion. Want to give your customers the best experience? Adyen is a single payments platform delivering convenience for all. Visit adyen.com to learn more. I'm Mark DeLuca with traffic on the new Classical FM.
Shen Yun is returning to Toronto. Based in New York, Shen Yun revives 5,000 years of divinely inspired culture that's lost in communist China today. Witness the beauty, strength, and wisdom of this ancient civilization live on stage and be enlightened, inspired, and energized. Catch one of the final 8 performances in Canada, March 24th through 29th at the Four Seasons Centre for the Performing Arts. Get tickets now at shenyun.com before they're sold out.
Over 50? It's time to take the at-home colon cancer test. Why? Because colon cancer is 90% curable when found early. Plus, testing is really easy. Just collect your sample and mail it in. We promise it's easier than you think. So ask your healthcare provider for the kit and visit ontario.ca/colon cancer check for more information. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
After a spectacular appearance in Beijing, the CCSA Symphony Orchestra returns to the Toronto stage.
The 2020 Winter Waltz Concert celebrates classical music in both Western and Chinese traditions.
An exquisite evening of music, featuring acclaimed violinist Angel Wang, the Canadian Chinese Society for the Arts Symphony Orchestra, and conductor Claudio Venna in a program celebrating the end of winter and awakening of spring.
Tuesday, March 24th, 7:30 p.m. at Kerner Hall. Order your tickets at rcmusic.com/performance.
I've found the one. Now I've got to find the ring.
Find it at Spence. They custom make every ring.
Everyone says that.
But not like Spence. Choose Earthmind or artisan-created diamonds. Their cases are open, so you can choose from thousands of ring styles or design your own. So the only one to wear her ring is her.
Well,
And Spence has the financing to fit your budget. Now, what were you going to say?
I'm going to Spence.
Inspired by love, imagined by you. Created by Spence.
In Scarborough, Vaughan, and Mississauga.
MCS Chorus Mississauga presents Mozart's Legacy. Saturday, March 7th, 7:30 p.m. at First United Church in Mississauga. The soaring and profound music of Mozart is presented with Franz Joseph Haydn's joyous and sunny melodies. The program includes Mozart's Solemn Vespers, celebrated for its famous setting of Laudate Dominum, and Haydn's St. Nicholas Mass. Tickets are available at mcschorus.ca.
Hey there, I'm Ryan from Speedy Glass. Did you know there are different grades of glass for your windshield? At Speedy Glass, we only use certified OEE windshields, made in the same factory as the original glass. All our repairs and replacements come with a lifetime warranty. Plus, if you have insurance, we contact your provider and take care of everything for you. Visit us at the shop or book an appointment today at speedyglass.ca. Conditions apply. Details at speedyglass.ca.
Speedy Glass Repair. Speedy Glass Replace.
You boost your morning with coffee. You boost your body with exercise. Now you can boost your savings with Meridian's high-interest savings account, boosted to 3% for 4 months. Visit a branch of meridiancu.ca to give your savings a boost.
Half of all men over 40 have some form of erectile dysfunction. Peak Health Ontario can give you hope again using the best technology in the country to treat the root cause of erectile dysfunction. This safe 20-minute non-invasive medical treatment breaks up blockages and repairs blood vessels. Get premier service and see results from Peak Health Ontario. Call 416-912-9133, 416-912-9133, or visit peakhealthontario.com. That number again, 416-912-9133.
This winter, share the joy of the smash hit musical Come From Away at Toronto's Royal Alexandra Theatre with sensational savings on weekday performances now through March 26th. Bring your loved ones and get 4 tickets from $199. Or bring your kid on Tuesday nights and get 2 tickets for the price of 1. Come From Away, Canada's #1 musical. Get these offers at Mirvish.com before they disappear with the snow.
As the world gets crazier, the music is even more beautiful on the new classical 96.3 FM.
That's from a recording titled Snake Fence Country from the Edmonton Wind Ensemble, Darius Milhaud's Suite Française, Provence. It's the new Classical FM. My name is Mark Wigmore.
The Oasis Look at the Arts is brought to you by Kerner Hall, one of the world's great concert halls, featuring the best in classical, jazz, world, and roots music. For more information, visit rcmusic.com/performance.
When I was a lad, I served a term as office boy to an attorney's firm. I cleaned the windows and I swept the floor, and I polished up the handle of the big front door.
HMS Pinafore, Gilbert and Sullivan's first great hit, takes the Toronto Operetta Company stage on Wednesday, with further performances this weekend at the St. Lawrence Centre for the Arts. The cast includes Holly Chaplin as Josephine, Brian Downey as Ralph, and newcomer Bradley Christensen. Rosalind MacArthur appears as Buttercup, and Gregory Finney will be featured as Sir Joseph Porter.
I copied all the letters in a hand so free that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy. He copied all the letters in a hand so free that now he is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
Well, it looks to be a wonderful production, and Gregory Finney is a Toronto-based baritone. His CV includes engagements with Against the Grain Theatre, Voicebox Opera in Concert, and, of course, the Toronto Operetta Theatre. Recent performances include Messiah, Figaro's Wedding, Camarasca, Don Giovanni, and The Merry Widow.
There he is in performance. Gregory Finney, welcome to the New Classical FM.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here. You look fantastic, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I like to get dressed up for special occasions.
Here you are in studio, and you might be on our YouTube cameras, so people can say hello to you there, waving. There he is. And we gave away tickets as a promotion to this particular piece.
Fabulous.
A couple weeks ago. And the phone was just ringing off the hook. Everybody wants to see HMS Pinafore. What is it about this piece that is so desirable all these years later?
Well, first off, it's feel-good, family-friendly fun. There's not a whole heck of a lot of that going on in live entertainment.
I think that's true.
The whole family can go to. It's one of those great comedies where love wins out on top at the end. And spoiler alert.
It's a regular Downton Abbey going on.
Yeah, well,
here.
And that's it, right? I mean, it's the people just like to laugh at the sort of class warfare that happens verbally between these people, and how love always ends up winning out in the end over the day, coupled with the fact that Sullivan was just a great composer. I mean, the tunes are singable. You can songs like mine have 6 verses, so you get a lot of chances to hear the tune. But it's just the good nature of the composition itself, and just the mastery of the combination of Gilbert's words with Sullivan's music. It's just of course it's going to stand the test of time. It's just really good work.
I love that. And it's interesting to me, too, because I would pick up the phone for people who are winning tickets, and right away they would identify with the actual prize. That often isn't the case. People will say, oh, what is exactly I've won this time? And right away people will just recognize this as a great night out.
Well, it's one of those sort of, it's just, HMS Pinafore is just sort of in the zeitgeist.
It is.
Yeah. It's one of those pieces that everybody just knows about. Like, HMS Pinafore, Cats, Marriage of Figaro.
Right.
Like these big, big, big works. And it stands the test of time because it's a good, well-crafted, and extremely intricate piece of work.
Tell us about Sir Joseph Porter.
Sir Joseph Porter, KCB. There's a class of characters in Gilbert and Sullivan musicals. I call them the Lord Admirals.
Okay.
Major General Stanley from Pirates of Penzance is one. He is a Lord Admiral. I forget his name. Iolanthe. Coco from The Mikado fits the bill in that show. But they're sort of the holdover from the older class. And it's just, these are roles that I've been dying to be old enough to play, basically.
Right. This is interesting, too, because I talk to baritones sometimes, and it is a lot of bad guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've heard this before.
Yeah.
Fathers, but often voices who help us understand what's happening in the show, or voices of guidance, and it sounds like
what's interesting for me, especially in this, is because Sir Joseph Porter is one of the lead roles in the show. He's not a romantic lead, but he's there a lot, and he's very important to what's going on.
Right.
For me, my general repertoire is in the compromario vein, so I'm playing, the sidekicks, the drunk uncles, I play Benoit and Alcindoro whenever I do La Boheme,
Right.
Those kinds of things. So comedy is always in the blood there. But I think it's just my early love of just British theater and English text. And, I was a Shakespeare nerd in junior high. I was that kid, reading Macbeth.
Only a few of those guys in junior high.
Well, in Cape Breton, there's like 2 of me.
That's where this all started, eh? Cape Breton?
Cape Breton Island, Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, born and raised. Yeah.
How about that? My son-in-law just did a massive ski trek across a big chunk of it just the last couple days. So Cape Breton's been on my mind.
Well, they have the snow for it.
They do. And you're glad that you're here performing HMS Pinafore as opposed to that.
Well, yeah. I mean, Cape Breton is honestly, to me, it's the most beautiful place on the planet.
It's God's country.
It is. I mean, I was really lucky. I grew up across the street from the Atlantic Ocean.
Right.
It's the people are so kind. And when they're rough with you, it comes from a place of love, so you only grow from it.
That's right.
That kind of
that's
thing.
What that's about.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And my mother would hate to hear me admit it, especially on radio, but that's definitely where a lot of our strength of character comes from. And also, the laugh, because if you don't, you'll cry. It's sort of when you live in that harsh of a landscape and you're in the have-not sort of category for so long, you just sort of you gravitate to things like entertainment. That's why everyone and their dog plays either a fiddle or a guitar or the piano. Or
I've been to the region. I know it well.
It's and even if they don't, everyone is a great appreciator of music, and so it's been in my blood and from the get-go. And growing up, I spent more time in a rehearsal room than I did in a classroom.
It's pretty exciting that that you have that in your heart, but here you are in the city, and we get to enjoy your talents.
Well, I got to be what I wanted to be when I grew up.
Right.
It's pretty cool, right?
It is pretty cool.
Not a lot of people get to say that.
Real quick before we let you go, what is next for you in 2020? What's happening after this production?
So more work with Against the Grain Theater is coming up, I believe. I'll be
pretty fascinating organization. And Joel is so busy in this town now.
You know what? It really is, and it was like I've been with them since the get go. Like I've been with them since the first La Boheme.
That's great.
And we just did a national tour in association with the Banff Center, and it was fantastic to bring opera to the country that kind of way. It really sort of puts hope in my heart that people still want to come to this stuff.
Right.
Even in the far reaches of the netherworld, but. Hopefully a lot more operetta. The season's kind of winding down right now. But I definitely, Toronto Operetta Theater is kind of like home for me. I debuted with them in 2007 or 8 with the Count of Luxembourg. And I've been with them pretty much every season since.
And they always put on special shows and sometimes a little outside of what we're maybe used to. And I love them mixing it up, and it's great.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, you get they're a really, really unique company, and Guillermo Silva-Marin does amazing work. They get the great canon like the Gilbert and Sullivans. You get your Merry Widows, you get your Die Fledermaus, but then you get he's a champion of Zarzuela, which is Spanish opera,
right?
Which is a really, 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 really beautiful corner.
We talked about it last time, with the members of the last piece.
Yeah, so I got to do Luisa Fernanda and Los Gavilanes with him. So I've been with them for quite a while, and he's very special to me, and the company's very special, and this is a very special production.
We want to see you this week. HMS Pinafore, Gilbert and Sullivan's first great hit, the Toronto Operetta Company, stage on Wednesday, and further performances this weekend at the St. Lawrence Centre for the Arts, torontooperetta.com for timing and tickets. And Gregory Finney, just wonderful to have you here and to spend some time with you.
Pleasure's all mine.
Thank you for being here. And we're going to get to music from the show in just a moment.
When the world's top music artists perform in Toronto, their choice is unanimous.
Kerner Hall.
Kerner Hall.
Kerner Hall.
As magnificent in its acoustics as its design. Toronto Star, dramatic yet intimate, connecting artist to audience as only the world's great concert halls can. Kerner Hall at the Royal Conservatory. For more information and upcoming concerts, go to rcmusic.com/performance. That's rcmusic.com/performance.
The Academy of St. Martin in the Fields with Sullivan's HMS Pinafore Overture. And great to spend some time with baritone Gregory Finney, a fixture of the scene here in Toronto. HMS Pinafore hits the Toronto Operetta Company stage tomorrow with further performances this weekend at the St. Lawrence Centre for the Arts. TorontoOperetta.com for tickets and timing. It is 3 degrees in Toronto and Collingwood, 4 degrees in Cobourg, rain falling just about everywhere. After an update, Puccini and the Beatles. But first, let's have a look at what's happening on the roads. It's Mark DeLuca.
We are seeing lots of volume delays because of the rain that's coming across the GTA, so make sure to take your time and drive according to the conditions. Also, if you're on the 401 dealing with a few issues, eastbound 401 Express at Yonge, we have a stalled vehicle in the right lane, and out near the Milton area, westbound 401 approaching Highway 25. We have reports of a crash there, seeing delays building already. Southbound 410 at Queen, there's a crash in the left lane, and good news in town, those problems we had at Islington and Finch, Gerrard west of Jones, have both been cleared up. Lucky Mobile is Canada's super cheap mobile phone provider with plans starting from just $15 a month. Additional charges may apply. Visit luckymobile.ca for details. I'm Mark DeLuca with traffic on the New Classical FM.
Classical Mornings with Mike and Jean, the perfect way to start your day.
Wednesday's Lotto 649 jackpot is an estimated $9 million. You play Match the Musician, we'll give you a $100 voucher to try and beat the odds. I'm Mike Duncan.
And I'm Jean Stillwell. Violinist Angel Wang joins us to talk about her Winter Waltz concert at Kerner Hall.
Plus, Andy's got the skinny on news and weather, Lisa's on traffic, and we've got a fabulous selection of your favorite music on Canada's only all-classical morning show.
That's Classical Mornings with Mike and Jean. Weekdays at 6 a.m. on the New Classical FM, the nation's classical station.
Hear the power and beauty of the pipe organ on Canadian Rachel Maughan's newly released solo album. After England's Coventry Cathedral was bombed in World War II, donations from Canada were sent to build a new organ. Maughan memorializes this historic relationship with an all-Canadian album funded by the Canada Council, recorded on this very instrument. Available now on Amazon, Apple Music, and Spotify, or visit rachelmaughan.ca.
Shen Yun is returning to Toronto. Based in New York, Shen Yun revives 5,000 years of divinely inspired culture that's lost in communist China today. Witness the beauty, strength, and wisdom of this ancient civilization live on stage and be enlightened, inspired, and energized. Catch one of the final 8 performances in Canada, March 24th through 29th at the Four Seasons Centre for the Performing Arts. Get tickets now at shenyun.com before they're sold out.
Alec Van Ryk of Van Ryk Jewelers.
Many customers have no clue what their jewelry or watches are worth. I am the man that can help you. I will give you the true appraisal and value. Many of our customers are pleasantly surprised when they find out that these heirlooms are worth so much more than they ever thought they were. And that is our job.
Call Van Ryk today at 416-440-0123 or visit Van Ryk, that's VANRIJK.com.
Caregivers are there for their aging parents. They're there for neighbors who have mobility issues. They're there for partners who have cancer. And we're here for them. The Ontario Caregiver Organization offers services and support to the 3.3 million caregivers in our province. If you're caring for someone and you need support or have questions, call the Caregiver Helpline, 1-833-416-2273, or visit ontariocaregiver.ca.
Let's play a game. I'll tell you 3 things about Vistaprint business cards, and you pick the one that's true, okay? Number 1, all our business cards are now edible. Number 2, all our business cards now come with sound effects. Number 3, all Vistaprint business cards now ship for free. Yep, you got it. It's number 3. All our business cards now ship for free. And that goes for any style in any quantity. And when you're creating your card, you pick the paper, the shape, and the finish. You'll feel prepared and confident with a glossy, matte, or uncoated card. You'll stand out with distinctive shapes like square and rounded corners. And you'll capture everyone's attention with shimmering finishes like pearl and foil accent. The end result is a business card you'll be proud to hand out. So visit Vistaprint.ca for free shipping on all business cards in any style and any quantity. Just use promo code 5050. That's Vistaprint.ca, promo code 5050.
Life is full of lanes. There's the left lane and the right lane, the fast lane and the slow lane.
carpool lanes, transit lanes, and bike lanes. There are swimming lanes and bowling lanes, closed lanes and open lanes. But the only lane you can get your Lotto 649 and Lotto Max tickets in is the checkout lane. So get in whatever lane takes you to a participating grocery store and grab a lottery ticket today for your chance to win.
Vision TV has season 4 of Poldark. Ross, the politician, faces a formidable foe. A corrupt, caddish playboy, rival in the House of Commons. He represents everything that Ross loathes. And hate can make men do horrible things. Fire! Catch the season 4 showdown on Poldark. Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on Vision TV.
Whether you're pulling your weight at work or pulling an all-nighter for school, we're here to help at the New Classical 96.3 FM.
Joshua Bell, the violinist, with his Academy of St. Martin in the Fields. You heard Puccini's O mio babbino caro from Gianna Schicchi, Craig Leon conducting. It is the Oasis. Wonderful to be with you here this afternoon. My name is Mark Wigmore. Let's get to chamber music, a take on a Beatles classic, Across the Universe, the Lennon-McCartney piece, of course. And an article in the UK's Express newspaper earlier this year suggested that after unearthing an interview with Yoko Ono's longtime assistant May Pang, that there was indeed talks of a Beatles reunion in the 1970s. Maypang had a long relationship with Lennon during his quote-unquote lost weekend period, and said that McCartney and Lennon had discussed putting the Fab Four back together in the autumn of '74 in upstate New York. Of course, it never happened. But when we think about what those four individuals were putting out with their solo careers, well, the imagination expands across the universe. The Boreade de Montreal in performance with the Beatles across the universe. And I was just watching the Gordon Lightfoot documentary in preparation for the fact that I have to talk to Gordon. Not have to, but I'm looking forward to talking to Gordon Lightfoot this week. And he talks about in the documentary how the Beatles would always ruin his record releases back in the 60s. He'd have something new, and then a Beatles record would come out and just wreck all his chances. Any favorite Beatles records?
Lucky you. Gordon Lightfoot on Friday?
I'm looking forward to it.
Wow, you've had some pretty great guests. I saw Gordon at Massey Hall 2 years ago and the year before that in Kingston.
It's a little daunting. I mean, the man is a legend, and I think about everything that he's been through and all the records and all the songs and all the covers, and it's
I think my brother-in-law may be a bit embarrassed, but I'll tell this story. He was a cop in Toronto. Big, strong, hulking guy. Favorite singer, favorite songwriter ever, Gordon Lightfoot.
Fair enough.
We get tickets. Mike, come on, you got to meet him. We're going to Kingston. We get the backstage because we have a mutual friend who manages. So my brother-in-law goes up, wants to say hello, literally ashen, can't speak, trembling. I'm in the middle saying, oh, wow, this is my brother-in-law. He loves you. He loved your music. He used to work at your concerts. Nothing. Walked away, and he was like, oh,
can't talk.
I lost my chance. No pressure.
Well, if we have somebody we truly admire, sometimes it is leave you a little
every time I see interviews with him, though, he puts everyone at ease. He's just such a chill guy.
Well, I'll take your word for it.
Well, you're a chill guy, too. It'll be a great interview, I'm sure.
All right, 4 o'clock. We need to have a look at what's happening.
Well, 3 degrees, still quite wet out there. Periods of rain ending early this evening, then partly cloudy. 30% chance of flurries overnight with a low around 0. In breaking news this hour, in a surprise announcement, the Ford Tories have backed down on 2 major issues that have caused contentious bargaining with the major teacher unions, saying enough is enough and that it's time for a deal. Education Minister Stephen Lecce announcing the government is backing down on class sizes and mandatory e-learning.
Today, I'm telling school boards a policy change of our government and a plan for a maximum funded average for secondary class of 23 students starting in the 2020-2021 school year. This means secondary class sizes are remaining effectively the same as this year.
There are no changes in class sizes from junior kindergarten through grade 8. The Ford Tories have also backed down on mandatory e-learning. Parents will be given the ability to opt out on behalf of their children. The unions have been asking for a 2% bump in pay, but it's capped at 1%. In exchange now, the government is calling on the unions to cancel a planned strike on Thursday and make room for good faith bargaining. 2 new cases of coronavirus in Ontario. 1 person had been to Egypt, the other to Iran. That brings the provincial total to 20. Meanwhile, Dr. Isaac Bogoch is an infectious disease specialist. He says the majority of COVID-19 cases are mild, but that does not take away from the possible significant impact of the virus.
If this does spread and if this does affect many, many, many more people, even with a very low percentage of people that get very sick and die, when you add that all up over a significant number of people infected, that's a large burden of mortality and also morbidity, meaning people getting sick. And if this can be prevented, we absolutely should prevent it. And that's why there is such a huge pressure to keep these control initiatives ongoing in China to prevent the spread in China and then ultimately out of China.
Tune in to the Zoomer tonight when Libby Znaimer hosts a panel of experts to discuss the COVID-19 virus and what you need to know. That's tonight at 11 on our sister station Vision TV. Cognitive behavioral therapy will be a key part of Ontario's just announced new mental health strategy. Health Minister Christine Elliott says the government will spend about $20 million on a program to boost access to such services, which she promises will roll out in the spring. The overall strategy will be handled by a central agency known as the Mental Health and Addiction Centre of Excellence, Elliott likening it to Cancer Care Ontario. The leaderless Ontario Liberal elect their new leader this weekend. The opening day is a tribute to Kathleen Wynne, prompting Karen Stintz to tell our sister station Zoomer Radio's Fight Back with Libby Znaimer.
I don't think that is beneficial to the Liberals moving forward to resurrect the image of Kathleen Wynne as the heyday of the Liberal rule.
It's a foregone conclusion that former Cabinet Minister Stephen Del Duca will win. An upcoming memoir by Woody Allen is being blasted by his daughter Dylan Farrow, who calls it deeply upsetting. Farrow has alleged that Allen molested her as a child in the early 90s. Woody Allen has denied any wrongdoing, and he was never charged after 2 separate investigations. The new book, called Apropos of Nothing, will be released April 7th. It's about his personal and professional life. Dylan says the memoir is deeply upsetting and a betrayal of her brother Ronan Farrow, whose reporting gave voice to numerous survivors of sexual assault by powerful men. Time now to take a look at the unofficial closing market numbers. First, the TSX down 129 points to 16,423. The Dow down 660 points to 26,040. The Nasdaq lost 232 points to 87.19. Canadian dollar also in the red, down over a third of a penny now to 74.76 cents US. 4:04, the weather after this.
In order to own an authentic Louis XV gilded sofa set, you would have had to have been born in 1725. But thanks to Chic by Jansen Authentic Reproductions, you can own a traditional masterpiece today. Now's the time to peruse their showroom during their one-time only moving sale and take advantage of some never-before-seen price reductions on priceless pieces.
Chic by Jansen, one-time only moving sale, on now at 1184 Castlefield in the Castlefield Design District. Visit chicbyjansen.com.
Classical FM weather, periods of rain this afternoon, ending early this evening. It will remain partly cloudy. Then there's a slight chance we could see some flurries overnight with a low at 0. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud, 30% chance of flurries in the morning. And then in the afternoon, expect some rain showers as well. A mild high of +5, partly cloudy at night, then clear sky by midnight, a low -7, a chilly wind chill of -13 overnight. It is 3 degrees in both Toronto and Collingwood this hour, 4 degrees in Cobourg. I'm Christine Ross. News next at 5 on the new Classical FM.
Schubert's Trout, you heard Yevgeny Kissin performing to start hour 2 of the program, Arts, Culture, and Classical. You're with the Oasis. My name is Mark Wigmore, saying good afternoon to you here at 4:08. And we'll get to Brahms' Double Concerto in just a moment. But first, the latest from UK vocal ensemble, Voces 8. Just a fantastic operation. The group had a terrific 2019, touring its celebrated recording Enchanted Isle, which we played here often on the program. And they began their After Silence project as well, a group of EP releases that continues to be released throughout 2020. And in fact, the first album in that project, titled After Silence Remembrance, did very well on the new Classical FM Top 20 chart over the last 8 weeks. And if that wasn't enough, Voces 8 featured on a new deluxe box set by composer Olafur Arnalds. Remember is the title. It features brand new arrangements, live pieces, new compositions, including Momentary, which reworks his composition for Voces 8. So let's listen. Here's the group performing Olafur Arnalds' Momentary on the Oasis. Brahms' Double Concerto in A minor. You heard the Gewandhaus Orchestra Leipzig with violinist Vadim Rapin and cellist Troels Mork. And we'll get to opera king Franz Lehár in moments. And then, of course, it's Tuesday, so we head to Broadway and beyond, our musical theater feature. Lots of talk this week about what's happening with Mirvish. We'll go through it and maybe make a few suggestions as well for the 2020-21 season just announced. It is the Oasis here on the New Classical FM. It's been a rainy day in the city. That rain will end early this evening. Then cloudy, maybe another shower, flurries perhaps overnight, low 0. Same idea in Coburg with a 60% chance of flurries overnight. Collingwood, the rain turns into flurries at midnight. Freezing rain perhaps up to 4 centimeters of snow. Windy as well and -1. Tomorrow, midweek Wednesday, sun and cloud in Toronto, a possible flurry in the morning, the high +5. Coburg, cloudy with a 60% chance of flurries tomorrow morning, 30% chance by the afternoon and the high of 4. And Collingwood, flurries or freezing drizzle in the morning, turning to cloudy skies and the chance of a flurry in the afternoon, up to 4 centimeters of snow for you tomorrow and the high 2 degrees. Very active weather over the next 24 hours. Then Thursday, sunny and 4 degrees in the city, Coburg as well, 5 degrees and sunny in Collingwood on Thursday. So a bit of a change. It is 4 degrees in Toronto and Coburg, 2 degrees in Collingwood.
Green Technology Lexus Performance. The new classical 96.3 FM Lexus 450h Classical Cruiser. Watch for it on the streets and on location. Powered by Don Valley North Lexus.
4:22 and a look at the roads now. Here is Mark DeLuca.
Well, those problems we had on the 401 have all now been cleared up. Eastbound Express at Yonge, there was a stalled vehicle in the right lane, and westbound on-ramp at Eglinton, the right lane was blocked because of emergency road work. Like I said, that's now gone. Still seeing lots of volume delays because of the rain that is falling across the GTA. Drivers are going a little slower than usual because of it. Westbound 403 at Waterdown, we have a crash in the left lane. That is backed up to Burloak, so if you're heading in that direction, be aware of that incident. And in town, just a heads up, Main and Gerrard, that's closed because of a pedestrian being struck. Best to avoid that area for the time being. Lucky Mobile is Canada's super cheap mobile phone provider with plans starting from just $15 a month. Additional charges may apply. Visit luckymobile.ca for details. I'm Mark DeLuca with traffic on the New Classical FM.
At Fortunes, imagination is key. I'm Michael DaCosta, and we take ideas from a thought to a beautiful piece of jewelry made just for you. Include a jewel from a family piece or choose from our large collection of precious gems and diamonds. Treat yourself to a creation process that happens right before your eyes. The atmosphere is relaxed and the outcome is exact. Visit Fortunes on Avenue Road just south of the 401 or online at fortunes.com.
Down some dim corridor at the Canada Revenue Agency, is there a cubicle with your name on it? Doesn't it seem like you're working for them and not for you? They grab more than half your income, then tax the money you invest. But we can show you how to get out of the tax grind and preserve more wealth for your family. Call me. I'm Mark Halpern, wealthinsurance.com.
Wealthinsurance.com.
Today? Well, check the news online. Lunch in the bistro with my son. Go for a swim. Meet my friends downstairs in the pub for a pint.
From David's perspective, this is senior living. At Amica, when you're ready, let Amica Senior Lifestyles get to know you so we can create a personalized senior living experience to support your unique needs, even as those needs change. Learn more at amica.ca. Private tours available.
The future of SUVs has arrived. The all-new 2020 Ford Escape with available head-up display technology and best-in-class second-row legroom. It's built for the future. Trust me, I know. I'm a robot. Ha. Ha. Ha.
You heard her. Lease the 2020 Ford Escape SE all-wheel drive for 40 months at 3.49% APR with $3,000 down. That's only $187 every 2 weeks. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
Did you know that Canadians are living longer and more active lives? Did you know that retirement savings plans were not designed for that kind of longevity? Did you know that many Canadians have to sell the home they love to finance their retirement? Yet 93% want to stay in their home as they grow older. How can they live happily ever after in the home they love? How can you? CARP recommends CHIP reverse mortgages from Home Equity Bank. With the CHIP program, you wouldn't have to sell the home you love to afford the long retirement you deserve. up to 55% of your home value in tax-free cash with no pension clawback and no monthly mortgage payments required. If you're 55 or older and own your own home, find out how much you can be getting every month. Just go to chipradio.ca. Your home and time are too precious for you to wait. Go now to chipradio.ca.
Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is Sarah. How can I help?
When your truck stopped in front of my neighbor's house, their flowers began to bloom, and the clouds went away, and the sun came shining through.
We bring the springtime with us.
I thought that was just a slogan.
No, we can make it springtime anytime.
I can have a clean garage and a clean yard and a decluttered house today?
We work until midnight 7 days a week, and we can be there in 90 minutes. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
After a spectacular appearance in Beijing, the CCSA Symphony Orchestra returns to the Toronto stage.
The 2020 Winter Waltz Concert celebrates classical music in both Western and Chinese traditions.
An exquisite evening of music, featuring acclaimed violinist Angel Wang, the Canadian Chinese Society for the Arts Symphony Orchestra, and conductor Claudio Venna in a program celebrating the end of winter and awakening of spring.
Tuesday, March 24th, 7:30 p.m. at Kerner Hall. Order your tickets at rcmusic.com/performance.
Curated for you from Canada's most complete classical music collection. This is the New Classical 96.3 FM.
Composer Franz Lehar's Judita, the prelude to the fifth act, the English Chamber Orchestra in performance. And you're with the Oasis. Mark Wigmore with you here on a Tuesday afternoon. And time once again for our regular Tuesday feature, Broadway and Beyond, celebrating the musical theater stage with trivia, stories, and news from London's West End, New York City, and right here in Toronto. And of course, playing great music from composers like Sondheim, Lloyd Webber, and Gershwin. We'll start here.
Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, who are you, what have you sacrificed? Jesus Christ, superstar, do you think you're what they say you are?
Last week, David Mirvish announced the 2020-2021 Mirvish Theater season, including 6 main season shows. Now, I wouldn't call this the most adventurous lineup, but it is jammed with favorites and a few new choices and a couple of blockbusters. From a musical theater perspective, we are getting what we're listening to right now, Jesus Christ Superstar. On its 50th anniversary, Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice with the hit that sees Jesus Christ through the eyes of Judas. Superstar opens the fall season in September. Also, the Canadian premiere of Love Never Dies, the not nearly as successful sequel to Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera, although I have to admit, I am very curious to see it. It arrives in December, and I was wondering if we were ever going to see this show.
Why do they think up stories that link my name with yours?
Why do the neighbors gossip all day behind their door?
Another much talked about musical from last year on Broadway, Oklahoma, of all shows. This production took the Great White Way by storm. The Rodgers and Hammerstein classic has been reimagined for the modern age and will open in May of 2021 here in Toronto. It won a Tony for Best Revival. It's been called everything from funny and sexy to dark and jolting. It's Oklahoma. My goodness, what's happening? Daniel Fish has reinterpreted the classic for this Canadian premiere, and we've talked about this show numerous times on this feature. We also get a North American premiere of And Juliet, brought here from London's West End, and the show asks, what if Juliet had gotten over Romeo and moved on with her life? It is packed with pop anthems, boy bands and girl bands alike. Sounds like a real crowd pleaser. You also get the off-Mirvish offering of Mythic, April 2021, fresh out of Montreal, and classics like Les Mis, and one we haven't seen for a while, Miss Saigon, and of course Come From Away continues next year as well. Mirvish.com for all the info on the new season. Continuing here on a Tuesday with Broadway and Beyond.
Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets.
Well, it was this day 26 years ago that Bebe Neuwirth gets whatever she wants as Lola in a revival of the musical Damn Yankees. The production opened on Broadway at the Marquis Theater and featured Victor Garber as the devilish Mr. Applegate, later to be replaced by the late Jerry Lewis. Finally, it was this day in 2013, 7 years ago, that Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein's classic Cinderella opened at the Broadway Theater more than 50 years after it premiered on black and white television screens in 1957. A very happy return. And that's another edition of Broadway and Beyond, and Lloyd Webber featured prominently once again in the Mirvish season. Let's listen. A little Gershwin, before that Lloyd Webber from Jesus Christ Superstar, and Andre Rieu and his Johann Strauss Orchestra, wrapping another edition of Broadway and Beyond. We do it every Tuesday. Catch you up on what's happening on the musical theater stage. It is the Oasis after an update, traffic, weather, and business, the COC with Bizet, alongside Russell Braun and Michael Shada, and we'll get to Glenn Gould as well. But first we need to have a look at what's happening on the roads and check in with Mark DeLuca. Well, after this.
Green Technology Lexus Performance. The new classical 96.3 FM Lexus 450h classical cruiser. Watch for it on the streets and on location. Powered by Don Valley North Lexus.
4 degrees in Toronto and Cobourg, 2 degrees in Collingwood, and active weather on the way for most of us. Let's have a look at what's happening on the roads. Here's Mark DeLuca.
Good news. It's a problem-free drive on our majors. Those issues we had on the 401 eastbound express at Yonge. There was a stalled vehicle on the right lane, and the westbound 401 on-ramp at Eglinton. They have both now been cleared up. That was a blocked issue in the right lane, westbound 401 on-ramp at Eglinton. Also, westbound 403 at Waterdown. We had a crash in the left lane. That's now gone. Still seeing some backup to Burloak and in town. Good news as well. Northbound Don Mills at Shepherd. There was a stall in the right lane. Westbound Shepherd at Bayview. We had a crash in the 2 right lanes. And eastbound Lakeshore Boulevard, British Columbia. There was a crash in the left lane. They have now been cleared up. Individual One, the podcast with award-winning journalist John Ziegler, providing a unique take on Trump you may not have heard before. Search Individual One on iTunes. I'm Mark DeLuca with traffic on the new Classical FM.
And a look at your business headlines now with Anthony Acolia, Money Talks market editor with TD Wealth. And Anthony, Google says cancel your travel plans. The Fed making big moves today. And like the Fed, we now look to the Bank of Canada. So take us through it.
Yes, we'll start with the U.S. Federal Reserve. And in an emergency move, the U.S. Fed surprised with a 50 basis point rate cut in response to the evolving economic risk posed by COVID-19, better known as coronavirus. We saw the Dow slump nearly 800 points, or nearly 3% today. It was the first emergency rate cut since 2008, also the biggest one-time cut since then. Now, the surprise move, given the Fed has a scheduled meeting in 2 weeks on March 18th. Now, although lower interest rates are good for stocks, making borrowing cheaper, the emergency cut was also a signal that the U.S. economy could be in a serious trouble because of the virus outbreak. Now, all eyes turn to the Bank of Canada rate decision on Wednesday. And the U.S. Fed's cut puts pressure on the Bank of Canada to cut interest rates amid the coronavirus fears. TD Economics is expecting the Bank of Canada to follow the Fed with a 25 basis point rate cut on Wednesday and potentially an additional cut on April during the next meeting. Some economists are cutting for the Bank of Canada to cut as much as 50 basis points tomorrow. Now, with global growth downgraded and the economy could potentially facing a shock from falling commodity prices, TD Economics predicts that the economic fallout from the virus shock will cut U.S. and Canadian economic growth by about 0.5% to 0.7%. Finally, Google has banned its employees from traveling internationally for work, according to sources. Last week, an employee in Google's Zurich office tested positive for the coronavirus disease. Now, that prompted further travel restrictions at the company. Google previously restricted employees from traveling to Italy, Iran, China, Japan, and South Korea. And that's your market update. I'm Anthony Ocolia.
Oh. Living with chronic pain changes everything because it changes how you see those things you do every day. Tying your shoes?
Pain.
Climbing those stairs?
Pain.
Vacuuming the house?
So much pain.
Walking around on vacation?
All pain, all the time.
If pain is affecting everything in your life, even the things you like to do, there are options. Book a free health assessment at an Apollo clinic today or visit apolloclinic.ca.
Max here, professional dream coach, letting everyone at Bob's Deli know that Lotto Max now has draws Tuesdays and Fridays. Edgar, what are you eating?
The Tuesday special.
And what would you get if you won Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot of an estimated $24 million?
The same thing, but on my own beach.
Keep going.
I'd fly everyone to my beach, and my personal chef will make us whatever we want.
Yes! I'll dream what he's dreaming. Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $24 million. With draws Tuesdays and Fridays, you can dream to the max.
Like a diamond bracelet, your brilliance has purpose. Like a vintage coffee grinder, you're full of beans. And you know jewelry like the back of your hand. At Around the Block, Toronto's most fascinating consignment showroom near Leslie and the 401, they're hiring. Dreams come true where there's a job for you.
HSBC Bank has one of Canada's lowest mortgage rates.
Hey, open up.
In fact, they're so good our lawyers are nervous.
This isn't funny. This is serious.
For a limited time, get an interest rate of 1.99% on a 3-year fixed, closed-term, high-ratio mortgage.
Let me in.
Oh, hey, legal.
Finally. Rates are subject to change without notice. A high-ratio mortgage is when a customer obtains a personal mortgage with mortgage default insurance with HSBC Bank Canada. Visit hsbc.ca/firsthome for details and restrictions.
HSBC. Together we thrive.
Your commute seems faster with the music of the masters on the New Classical 96.3 FM.
Qu'enfin je revois, après de si longs jours, après de si longs mois, où nous avons vécu séparés l'un de l'autre, bravant nous réunis, quelle joie est la nôtre. Mais parle, es-tu resté fidèle à ton serment? Est-ce un ami que je revois, ou bien un traître à mon amour profond? J'ai su me rendre maître. C'était le soir, dans l'air, par la brise atterrie, les bramines offrant inondées de lumière. Appelez lentement la foule à la prière. Au fond du temple saint, Paris des fleurs et d'or, une femme je crois la voir encore. La foule prosternée, par regard étonné, il murmure tout bas, voyez, c'est la déesse.
Well, the COC will return to the music of Bizet in the upcoming season, but you just heard Pearl Fishers there, Michael Shada, the tenor, with Russell Braun, the baritone, the Canadian Opera Company Orchestra in performance. I'm Mark Wigmore. Thank you for joining us this evening. Earlier today, we released episode 7 from the current season of the new Classical FM Presents podcast, Art at the End of the World. And today, I sit down with Ben Kowalowitz. For the last 25 years, Ben has fronted Billy Talent, one of the most successful rock acts to call Canada home. He talks to me about how the band's work ethic and love of music have carried the group through an industry sea change. That's certainly the truth. He examines a career that started with physical records and rock videos that, of course, has been transformed into streaming services and surgical release strategies. It is a different world. Ben also opens up about fatherhood, takes you behind the scenes of the band's latest recordings, and answers the question, is rock and roll dead within a pop world that has all but forgotten instrument-based music? Here's a moment.
When I hear people say that, I just picture like old men yelling at the clouds, like, why are you out? You know, it's like, well, okay, sure. The version of rock and roll that you know has maybe gone. But that doesn't mean that the new version of rock and roll and what that means is still out there. You just have to find it.
Billy Talent getting ready to play in front of hundreds of thousands of rock and roll lovers this summer. You try telling Ben that rock and roll is dead. Head to any podcast app that you enjoy, maybe iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify or the TuneIn app, wherever you like, and search for Art at the End of the World. And you can listen, or drop by classicalfm.ca and you can find the episode there as well. It's brought to you by Crow's Theatre and Red Eye Media. Glenn Gould, of course, in performance with Bach's Goldberg Variations. You just heard the aria. After the 5 p.m. news, Itzhak Perlman gets nostalgic and your chance to win tickets to Canada Blooms. So be listening for your cue to call. All right, it is the Oasis. Before we do anything else, we need to have a look at what's happening on the roads. Here is Mark DeLuca.
Dealing with one problem for our majors, westbound Gardner on-ramp at Kipling. The right lane is blocked because of flooding, so best to avoid that area. But we're seeing lots of volume delays as well right now on our majors in and out of the city. Very, very backed up. The rain is causing a lot of slowdown, so just be ready for a slow commute in town. We do have one area that's closed. Main and Girard, a pedestrian was struck, so best to avoid that section for the time being as well. Love the German engineering of Bosch appliances. Get up to $2,300 in instant rebates, including up to $500 on Bosch dishwashers. Available at Goldman's Appliances. I'm Mark DeLuca with traffic on the New Classical FM.
All right, just counting down to 5 o'clock now. Joining me in studio once again, it is Christine Ross with an update.
Thank you very much, Mark. 4 degrees. Periods of rain ending early this evening, then partly cloudy with a 30% chance we could see some flurries overnight with a low around 0. The head of the union representing Ontario high school teachers not pleased with how the Ford government announced it was backing down on two key issues in bargaining. Harvey Bischoff is angry the education minister held a news conference to announce the changes amid informal talks between the two sides.
Having exploratory talks, which could lead to bargaining, the minister once again, in another amateur hour move, interrupts that by going to a podium. Why doesn't he put that on a proposal, pass it across the table, down at the Sheraton where I just came from, and maybe we'd have an opportunity to move forward.
Bischoff reacting to Stephen Lecce's announcement that the government is now offering reduced high school class size to 23, that's one student over last year's level. In addition, Stephen Lecce says the government is making concessions on mandatory e-learning.
We also know that parents know best about how their children can adapt and learn through online courses. By giving parents the option to opt out of mandatory online courses required for graduation, parents, not unions, will make the decision that is best for their children.
And OECTA issued a statement that Catholic teachers are fed up with this government's games and spins. In return, Lecce is asking teachers' unions to suspend job action and return to the bargaining table. With 2 new coronavirus cases in Ontario, the provincial total is now 20. Health officials continue to maintain the risk to contract COVID-19 remains low. Yet, people are still wondering if they should change their routines and plans, and in some cases, people with medical training are taking it upon themselves to ask people to self-isolate. Dr. Matthew Miller of McMaster University's Institute for Infectious Diseases Research told Zoomer Radio's Fight Back with Libby Znaimer that only listen to the qualified health experts.
People need to sort of gauge what their relative risk is before deciding whether or not it's worth changing their behavior. Certainly in most young, healthy individuals, the evidence suggests that this is a mild infection that for most people wouldn't even require a visit to the doctor. That doesn't mean, of course, that it shouldn't be taken seriously, but it does mean that, we don't all need to shutter ourselves in the interim.
Dr. Miller adds people should avoid alarmist behaviors where they completely shut down their lives in fear of the virus. The province has announced plans for a mental health and addiction system. Health Minister Christine Elliott outlines how Roadmap to Wellness will make a difference.
Roadmap to Wellness is a plan built around 4 key pillars. First, enhancing the quality of services across Ontario. Second, expanding existing mental health and addiction services by investing in priority areas like wait times. Third, implementing innovative solutions to fill gaps in care. And fourth, improving access to services by making navigating the system easier for patients and families.
The province says it's investing $3.8 billion over 10 years for the program. Business news now. All eyes will turn to the Bank of Canada rate decision tomorrow, but today the U.S. Fed made a surprise emergency rate cut over concerns of the coronavirus. TD Wealth analyst Anthony Acolia.
This was the first emergency rate cut since 2008. It's also the biggest one-time cut since then. So it was a bit of a surprise, given that the Fed will be meeting in 2 weeks for their scheduled, interest rate decision. And the Fed was trying to reassure investors that the central bank was taking the virus threat seriously. But the Fed chairman said that, look, we're not prepared to use any additional tools to stimulate the economy aside from rate cuts. And I think that might have disappointed the markets, and that's why investors, and that's why the markets were down today.
North American stock markets dropped after an initial flurry. TSX down 129 points, 16,423. The Dow fell 786 points to end the day at 25,917. NASDAQ down 268 points. The dollar down fractionally, still below the 75-cent mark at 74.83 cents U.S. Oil up 43 cents to 47.18 a barrel. And gold rose almost 50 to $1,644.49 an ounce. It is 5:04. I'll check the weather forecast next.
Hear the power and beauty of the pipe organ on Canadian Rachel Maughan's newly released solo album. After England's Coventry Cathedral was bombed in World War II, donations from Canada were sent to build a new organ. Maughan memorializes this historic relationship with an all-Canadian album funded by the Canada Council, recorded on this very instrument. Available now on Amazon, Apple Music, and Spotify, or visit rachelmaughan.ca.
Checking the weather forecast for Toronto first. Periods of rain ending early this evening, partly cloudy, 30% chance of flurries overnight with a low of 0. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, slight chance of flurries in the morning, slight chance of rain in the afternoon, a mild high of 5. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, clearing near midnight, a low -7. Cobourg, rain ending later this evening, cloudy with flurries changing to rain near noon tomorrow. Collingwood, rain changing to flurries near midnight with the risk of freezing drizzle overnight. The flurries will end by tomorrow afternoon. 4 degrees in Toronto, 5 degrees in Cobourg, 2 degrees in Collingwood. I'm Christine Ross. News next at 6 on the New Classical FM.
This hour of The Oasis is brought to you by TIFF Bell Lightbox. Discover films, talks, and events year-round at tiff.net.
The Abbey Road Ensemble with violinist Itzhak Perlman. You heard Chrysler's old refrain as we open up hour 3 of the program, Arts, Culture, and Classical. You're with the Oasis, and we'll get to Mendelssohn in just moments, but let's start with garden music. And for good reason. It is Mark Wigmore with you. 5:09, the rain falling here in Liberty Village all day long. And maybe that means spring is around the corner. And with that, 2 tickets to the New Classical FM presentation of Canada's largest flower and garden festival, Canada Blooms. Could be yours right now. I need to speak with caller number 3 at 416-507-9894. 416-507-9894. March 13th through the 22nd at the Enercare Center Exhibition Grounds. Your passes also putting you into the home show running on the exact same days. Come out and see me. I'll be broadcasting from the 16th through the 20th live from Canada Blooms. Let's hear from you right now. Be caller number 3 and enjoy the flowers. 416-507-9894. Here's Delibes with the Flower Duet.
Thank you.
Pianist Louis Lortie with the Quebec Symphony Orchestra, Mendelssohn's first piano concerto in G minor. Welcome to the Oasis. Before that, Music for the Garden from Delibes, his flower duet. And your cue to call to enjoy the flowers at Canada Blooms. And I want to say hello to Marta, who got in touch from Mississauga, thrilled to make it through, and says she'll say hello because I will be broadcasting live from the 16th through the 20th at Canada Blooms. And you should get your tickets. We'd love to see you there, happening through the 13th through the 22nd at the Enercare Center. It is 4 degrees in Toronto and Cobourg, 1 degree in Collingwood now. Coming up, James Ennis, the Grammy Award-winning Canadian violinist with Tchaikovsky, and then to Japan for symphonic soundtracks as we investigate the video game score to a legendary game, Chrono Trigger. Next thing we need to do is have a look at what's happening on the road. So let's say hello to Mark DeLuca.
Lots of volume delays to contest with in and out of the city on our majors, but the good news is we're just dealing with one problem. Westbound Gardner on-ramp at Kipling, the right lane is blocked because of flooding, so best to avoid that area for the time being. Also in town, Main and Gerrard, that's still closed because of a pedestrian being struck, so probably best to avoid that area also. And Dixon west of Highway 27, we have a new issue there. Got too much stuff? Save time, save space, and save money with Second Closet. They pick up, store, and return your stuff. Couldn't be easier. Visit secondcloset.com. I'm Mark DeLuca with traffic on the New Classical FM.
Mike Duncan here with what's coming up at the TIFF Bell Lightbox. TIFF Cinematheque's Robert Bresson retrospective rolls on with another pair of influential classics, starting with a 35mm screening of the director's passion project, Lancelot du Lac, Bresson's take on the legend of King Arthur that swaps magic for morality. It screens March 11th at 6:30 p.m. And try to spot a young Claire Denis as an extra in 4 Nights of a Dreamer, her first job in film, of which she said one never forgets Bresson. It screens March 13th at 6:30 p.m. Go from Knights of the Round Table to a night of rock history with Martin Scorsese's Rolling Thunder Review, a Bob Dylan story, documenting the rock legend's 1975 tour through rare interviews and performance footage, including Dylan and Joni Mitchell jamming at Gordon Lightfoot's Toronto home, screening March 14th at 9 p.m. To see movie showtimes and buy tickets for all TIFF programming, go to tiff.net.
The month of March is named after Mars, the Latin god of war. I'm Russell Wells. Therefore, the Britton House Retirement Center wars against everything negative. We encourage smiles, laughter, and friendship. We provide great food, proper exercise, delightful music and entertainment, and gentle hands and voices successfully combat and comfort those sometime moments of loneliness. The Britton House will march to a different drummer, always endeavoring to please you. And we're most proud of that. Our number is 416-487-3392. That's 416-487-3392. And remember, we'll even help you move.
The future of SUVs has arrived. The all-new 2020 Ford Escape with available head-up display technology and best-in-class second-row legroom. It's built for the future. Trust me, I know. I'm a robot. Ha. Ha. Ha.
You heard her. Lease the 2020 Ford Escape SE all-wheel drive for 40 months at 3.49% APR with $3,000 down. That's only $187 every 2 weeks. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
Saturday, March 14th, guest conductor Pratik Gandhi leads Toronto's Cathedral Bluffs Symphony Orchestra in a program that includes Beethoven's Overture to Egmont, Schumann's Symphony No. 4 in D minor, and Odawa First Nations composer Barbara Crowell performing her own work, Thunderbird Song, in the oral tradition with orchestra. Join us Saturday, March 14th, 8 p.m. in the PC Ho Theatre, 5183 Shepherd Avenue East at Markham Road. For tickets and information, visit cathedralbluffs.com.
Alec Van Ryck of Van Ryck Jewelers.
When people are selling jewelry, the customers are very insecure about knowing the true value of their gems or watches. The process begins at Van Ryck. Come to a company that has reputation and give them exactly what their pieces are worth, and they will feel secure.
Call Van Ryck today at 416-440-0123. or visit Van Ryck, that's VANRIJK.com.
Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is Sarah. How can I help?
When your truck stopped in front of my neighbor's house, their flowers began to bloom, and the clouds went away, and the sun came shining through.
We bring the springtime with us.
I thought that was just a slogan.
No, we can make it springtime anytime.
I can have a clean garage and a clean yard and a decluttered house today.
We work until midnight 7 days a week, and we can be there in 90 minutes. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
This spring break, leave your passport at home and let imagination take flight. During the Indigo Kids Staycation event, you'll find fun for every gamer, crafter, and builder in your house with free kids activities all week long. For event details, visit indigo.ca.
Am I getting tax credits this year? You bet. It's nice to get credit for something you deserve. Not like when you're the middle child. They gave the family dog my name and no one noticed. I guess you don't need to dream of having superpowers when you're already invisible.
People are complicated. The experts at H&R Block make it simple to get the credit you deserve, with more money back from tax credits available to those in Ontario. H&R Block. Get what's yours.
Now at Walmart, save $1 on Hungry Man frozen entrees. Now only $1.97. That's another reason why grocery bills are lower at Walmart.
Half of all men over 40 have some form of erectile dysfunction. Peak Health Ontario can give you hope again using the best technology in the country to treat the root cause of erectile dysfunction. This safe 20-minute non-invasive medical treatment breaks up blockages and repairs blood vessels. Get premier service and see results from Peak Health Ontario. Call 416-912-9133. 416-912-9133. Or visit peakhealthontario.com. That number again, 416-912-9133.
Wake up with the new Classical FM and Classical Mornings with Mike and Jean. The ideal FM in the AM.
Vladimir Ashkenazy performing on piano with James Ennis, the violinist. You heard Tchaikovsky and his Souvenir d'un le Cher here on The Oasis. You're with the New Classical FM. And with that theme, it's time once again for our daily feature here on The Oasis, Symphonic Soundtracks, celebrating the world of scores and compositions made famous at the movies, on television, or via video games. So today, the music of Chrono Trigger, the beloved role-playing video game for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It was released way back in 1995. Chrono Trigger was developed by a trio of designers dubbed the Dream Team due to their diverse expertise on how a video game should play. Their credits include Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. The game's story follows a group of adventurers who travel through time to prevent a global catastrophe. Trigger was, in a word, successful, critically and commercially. Some have called it the greatest video game of all time, thanks to its multiple endings, character development, and stunning graphics for the era. It also boasts one of the most beloved soundtracks in video game history. Chrono Trigger was scored primarily by Yasunori Mitsuda, but when he got sick, he went after some help from another video game scoring legend, Final Fantasy series composer Nobuo Uematsu. Mitsuda was particularly excited by this game and even threatened to leave the company Square, which produced the title, if he wasn't able to fully compose the music. He struggled at first, starting over numerous times, scrapping everything, and sleeping in the studio so he could compose based on his dreams. He also suffered a hard drive crash that lost around 40 in-progress tracks. Heartbreaking. When he contracted stomach ulcers during the process of writing the music, Final Fantasy composer Nobuo Uematsu helped him to finish. It's said that Mitsuda cried tears of joy when he saw and heard the final product. So let's get into his sonic world, the main theme from Chrono Trigger, performed by the London Philharmonic Orchestra on Symphonic Soundtracks. Dvorak's Serenade for Strings in E. You just heard the finale performed by the Orpheus Chamber Orchestra. And before that, the music of Chrono Trigger, video game music, as we get through another edition of Symphonic Soundtracks. And we've got some other great soundtracks picked out for the rest of the week. My name is Mark Wigmore. Great to be with you here at 542. I'll quickly draw your attention to the website, classicalfm.ca, for good reason. Not just doing it for no reason. It's a great reason. Best Friends, Daytona and Lovely are our pets of the week in conjunction with the Toronto Humane Society. You got to look at these two. Just incredible. They are literally best friend movie friends wrapped up into one cute, cuddly couple. Very different animals, but they love to play and snuggle together, and they rely on one another, and they could use your home and your heart to help them for the rest of their lives. And Daytona and Lovely are pets of the week. Find them right on the homepage, classicalfm.ca. All right, we have a few things to get to. More music on the way. We head to Paris with pianist Jonathan Biss, celebrating 250 years of Beethoven. But first, we need to take a look at the roads. And so let's check in right now. Here is Mark DeLuca.
We have a new problem on the 401 eastbound at Carlingview. We have a crash in the right lane, and we're still dealing with that issue on the Gardner westbound on-ramp at Kipling. The right lane is blocked because of flooding. Not really much of an improvement, so probably best to avoid that area if you can. In town, Gerrard is still closed both ways west of Main because of a pedestrian being struck. If you can avoid that area as well, that would be a good idea. And Dixon west of Highway 27, we had a crash that is cleared. In Vaughan, Dufferin south of Kirby Road, Keele south of Teston dealing with crashes. Receive rates as low as 0.09% or savings up to $4,000 on select models during Land Rover's Own the Adventurous sales event. Visit your Land Rover authorized retailer for details. I'm Mark DeLuca with traffic on the New Classical FM.
Hello, I'm Kathleen Kajioka. Join me every weeknight for a little night music. What better way to end your day than with a tailor-made soundtrack of the greatest music of all time? Plus, get to know our composer of the week. This week, Nicola Porpora, an operatic composer with a competitive streak. He thrived in an atmosphere of rivalry. Pitting himself against Hasse in Dresden and Handel in London, he seemed to arrive in town looking for a fight. He counted the famous castrato Farinelli as one of his protégés and even hired a 20-year-old Haydn as his accompanist and valet. That's a little night music with me, Kathleen Kajioka. Weeknights from 7 to 11 here on the New Classical FM. Beautiful music for a crazy world.
Did you know Pollock's Carpet Market has a large variety of hardwood and engineered flooring?
Pollock's Carpet Market?
Yeah, also all the top quality loose lay and clicking vinyl plank floors, all waterproof. Pollock's Carpet Market is one of the best places to get a great floor at great prices, and more than just carpets.
Pollock's.
Pollock's Carpet Market on Roncesvalles Avenue.
I'm definitely going.
Smart choice. Pollock's really is the best place for all your flooring needs, and they install everything they sell.
Pollock's Carpet Market.
I've found the one. Now I've got to find the ring.
Find it at Spence. They custom make every ring.
Everyone says that.
But not like Spence. Choose Earthmind or artisan-created diamonds. Their cases are open, so you can choose from thousands of ring styles or design your own. So the only one to wear her ring is her.
Well,
And Spence has the financing to fit your budget. Now, what were you going to say?
I'm going to Spence.
Inspired by love, imagined by you, created by Spence.
In Scarborough, Vaughan, and Mississauga.
TELUS Mobile Health Clinics give people living on the streets the medical care they need with the dignity they deserve.
Come on in. Let's get you checked out.
And TELUS Mobility for Good helps youth leaving foster care connect to the resources and support they need with a free phone and plan. Hello? Across Canada, TELUS is helping those who need it most because we're all connected for good. Learn more at TELUS.com/allconnectedforgood.
There are many things that we know we need to check as we get older, and hearing is one of them.
That's Jillian Price, Chief Audiologist with Hearing Life. Tell us about the Campaign for Better Hearing.
The Campaign for Better Hearing began here in Canada in 2015. And is still ongoing. It's actually now a national campaign. Come into one of our clinics because we run this wonderful campaign. And if you come in and get your hearing tested, then we will donate $4 to the Campaign for Better Hearing. And all of this money goes towards providing hearing aids free of charge for those who otherwise cannot afford them. And since we started this program, we have raised over $1 million, and we have helped over 400 people.
If you're 60 or over, book your free hearing test at hearinglife.ca.
You'll be supporting a wonderful cause.
Arrange for your free test at hearinglife.ca. That's hearinglife.ca.
Hearing Life Canada, my hearing care clinic for life.
Hi, I'm Doug Jones, president of BDO Debt Solutions. As someone who helps people solve their debt problems, I often get asked for my opinion about the record level of Canadian household debt or the prospect of rising interest rates. I understand why people are worried, but the best thing to do is focus on what's happening with your finances. If you're struggling, visit debtsolutions.bdo.ca or call 855-BDO-DEBT to find a licensed insolvency trustee near you.
If you think Vikings are fearless, this is not true. During winter, Earl, the god of snow, will creep up on you with a nasty surprise. Even the mighty Thor shakes in his boots for this. Not cool, Earl. But Subaru from Japan made winter fun again with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Now we don't have Hijarta attack every time it snows.
Bring on winter in a Subaru. Hurry in for great rates from 0.99% at your Ontario Subaru dealer.
Max here, professional dream coach, letting everyone at Bob's Deli know that Lotto Max now has draws Tuesdays and Fridays. Edgar, what are you eating?
The Tuesday special.
And what would you get if you won Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot of an estimated $24 million?
The same thing, but on my own beach.
Keep going.
I'd fly everyone to my beach, and my personal chef will make us whatever we want.
Yes! I'll dream what he's dreaming. Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $24 million. With draws Tuesdays and Fridays, you can dream to the max.
Why did I wait so long? Our patients tell us that all the time at the Herzig Eye Institute. I'm Cherry Tab, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute, and Dr. Herzig and I want to ask you, why have you waited so long? You could finally be free from glasses, contacts, even reading glasses. Google high-definition vision. Learn about Herzig. Call us for a consultation. There's no charge. Afterwards, you'll say, why did I wait so long? Look after yourself. Promise me.
Shen Yun is returning to Toronto. Based in New York, Shen Yun revives 5,000 years of divinely inspired culture that's lost in communist China today. Witness the beauty, strength, and wisdom of this ancient civilization live on stage and be enlightened, inspired, and energized. Catch one of the final 8 performances in Canada, March 24th through 29th at the Four Seasons Centre for the Performing Arts. Get tickets now at shenyun.com before they're sold out.
Thank you for listening to the New Classical 96.3 FM. Beautiful music for a crazy world.
This hour of The Oasis has been brought to you by TIFF Bell Lightbox. For tickets and information on events and more, go to tiff.net.
In the early morning rain, with $1 in my hand, with an aching in my heart, in my pockets full of sand.
There he is. A reminder that Gordon Lightfoot is on the cover of Zoomer magazine this week. And wow, what a career. Always fascinating to read what one of this country's greatest singer-songwriters has to say. And there's now talk that Gordon Lightfoot will be my final guest on the new Classical FM podcast, Art at the End of the World. And so here's to hoping. We're hoping to record at the end of this week. But really, it is a far-reaching interview in Zoomer magazine with Gordon. You can look for it on newsstands now. And so why don't we get to some a classical rendition of Gordon Lightfoot. Here it is. If You Could Read My Mind, the St. John String Quartet. If You Could Read My Mind, the great Gordon Lightfoot piece in the hands of the St. John String Quartet from last year's Canadian Hits Unplugged recording, and a reminder that Gordon Lightfoot is on the cover of Zoomer magazine this month, and pick it up where you see it on newsstands. You are with the New Classical FM. It is the Oasis. After the news, Alice Sarah Ott performs Chopin, and we'll get to the dance album from guitarist Christo Cow. But before we do anything else, a look at the roads right after this.
With a CHIP reverse mortgage, you can stay in the home you love and still afford the long retirement you deserve. Go to chipradio.ca. Your home and time are too precious for you to wait.
We have a few problems on the go for our majors. Eastbound 401 Express at Leslie, there's a crash in the left lane, and westbound 401 off-ramp to the 403, 410, dealing with a stalled truck in the right lane. Good news, though, we had previous issues eastbound 401 off-ramp to the 427. There was a stall in the right lane, and eastbound 401 at Carlingview, we had a crash in the right lane. Both those problems have now cleared up. Westbound Gardner on-ramp at Kipling, the right lane is still blocked because of flooding, and northbound 427 at Rexdale, we have reports of a crash. The left lane is backed up to Dixon, so pretty slow over there in town. York Mills at Leslie, we have a crash in the left lane both ways. Black Creek and Todd Bayless Boulevard dealing with a problem there. And we have a stall in the left lane eastbound Lawrence at Black Creek. Got too much stuff? Save time, save space, and save money with Second Closet. They pick up, store, and return your stuff. Couldn't be easier. Visit secondcloset.com. I'm Mark DeLuca with traffic on the New Classical FM.
Well, we need to get caught up on what's happening in the news and what's happening weather-wise over the next few days. And joining me in studio once again, it is Christine Ross with the 6 o'clock news.
Thank you very much, Mark. It is 4 degrees in Toronto. Rain ending early this evening. A partly cloudy sky later on with a 30% chance of flurries overnight. A low right around 0. In the news.
And enough is enough. It is time for a deal that keeps students in class where they belong.
With those words, Education Minister Stephen Lecce says his government is offering concessions in the ongoing teachers' contract talks, increase high school class size to 23, just one above last year's level, and allow parents to opt out of e-learning for their kids. In return, he's asking the major unions to suspend future job action and return to the table. Not so fast, says OSSTF's Harvey Bischoff and OECTA's Liz Stewart.
If he commits to last year's staffing levels, the ratios of professionals to students in our schools, we will postpone job action and take absolutely everything else back to the bargaining table.
We're more than happy to sit at the table and to begin conversations based on what the minister said today, but understanding that our main focus is going to continue to be making sure that we can make sure our most vulnerable students have programs in place.
Both unions say despite what the government says, this is the first time they're hearing these proposals. 2 new cases of coronavirus in Ontario, a woman in her 70s from York region who had been to Egypt, and a man in his 50s who returned from Iran. These bring the provincial total to 20. Meanwhile, an update on the 3 cases announced just yesterday. They're all resolved, and each patient has had 2 consecutive negative tests at least 24 hours apart. Dr. Isaac Bogoch is an infectious disease specialist and says the majority of COVID-19 cases are mild, but that does not take away from the possible significant impact of the virus.
If this does spread, and if this does affect many, many, many more people, even with a very low percentage of people that get very sick and die, when you add that all up over a significant number of people infected, that's a large burden of mortality and also morbidity, meaning people getting sick. And if this can be prevented, we absolutely should prevent it. And that's why there is such a huge pressure to keep these control initiatives ongoing in China to prevent the spread in China and then ultimately out of China.
Tune into the Zoomer tonight when Libby Znaimer hosts a panel of experts to discuss the COVID-19 virus and what you need to know. That's tonight at 11 on our sister station, Vision TV. Cognitive behavioral therapy will be a key part of Ontario's just announced new mental health strategy. Health Minister Christine Elliott says the government will spend about $20 million on a program to boost access to such services, which she promises will roll out in the spring. The overall strategy will be handled by a central agency known as the Mental Health and Addiction Centre of Excellence. Elliott likened it to Cancer Care Ontario. For the first time in 24 years, real-life showbiz couple Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker are on the Broadway stage together.
A surprising, unexpected confluence of events came together, and all of a sudden we were pondering this gorgeous, funny, not seen in far too long Neil Simon play, Plaza Suite.
They're playing 3 different couples in roles that were originated by George C. Scott and Maureen Stapleton in 1968. Parker says they haven't acted together since 1996 when they were in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. The show opens at the Hudson Theater next Friday and runs for 17 weeks. Coming up on 6:04, the weather forecast is next.
24-hour gaming excitement awaits you at Casino Ajax. Test your luck on over 900 of your favorite slot machines and 50 electronic table games. Hungry? We have daily dining specials from 4 to 11 p.m. at spectacular prices, including T-bone steak on Wednesdays, prime rib and 2 lobster tails on Thursdays and Fridays, or shrimp and steak on Sundays. Must be 19 plus. Winner Circle Rewards membership required. If you gamble, play smart.
Casino Ajax.
Checking the weather forecast for Toronto, periods of rain ending early this evening. A partly cloudy sky later on. Slight chance of flurries overnight with a low 0. Mix of sun and cloud for Wednesday. 30% chance of flurries in the morning. 30% chance of rain in the afternoon with a mild high of 5. Partly cloudy at night. A low -7 with a wind chill down to -13 overnight. Cobourg, rain ending later this evening. Cloudy with flurries changing to rain near noon tomorrow. Collingwood, rain changing to flurries near midnight. Risk of freezing drizzle overnight. Those flurries will end by tomorrow afternoon. Right now, 4 degrees in Toronto and Cobourg, 1 degree in Collingwood. I'm Christine Ross. News next at 7 on the New Classical FM.
Alice Sarah Ott, the pianist with Chopin's Waltz in A-flat. And welcome to the fourth and final hour of the program. It is the Oasis here on a Tuesday, 10 minutes after 6 o'clock. My name is Mark Wigmore, with you for about another 45 minutes. Kristo Kau is an Estonian guitarist, also the author of 6 books on guitar playing. His solo CD, The Dance Album, a big hit in Europe, and we found it here as well at the New Classical FM. The Dance Album is a handful of dances collected from Europe to America, from Renaissance to the 20th century. Many of these dances not being danced anymore, but the music has survived, which is lovely. Kristo says, quote, "The guitar has always been a dance instrument. And in this program, I've tried to get the pieces to dance by adding some percussion, as well as a real dancer within the recording." So let's go back to 2007 and listen. A Spanish piece from the Dance Album. Vivaldi's Concerto for Strings in D minor. You heard the Accademia Concerto Italiano, and it is the Oasis. And I suggest that you maybe visit us at Canada Blooms when we broadcast there in just over a week. It is the new Classical FM is an official radio sponsor of Canada Blooms 2020, the largest flower and garden festival in this country, March 13th through the 22nd at the Enercare Center Exhibition Place. I will be there broadcasting live from Canada Blooms March 16th through 20th. You can arrive and spin the prize wheel, say hello to our whole crew there. We'll be there each and every day. See the award-winning floral displays, vendors at the garden marketplace, 300 seminars to choose from this year. So if you're a gardener or a lover of flowers, CanadaBlooms.com for your ticket to the show, and that also provides free same-day admission to the National Home Show. It is 4 degrees in Toronto, 3 in Cobourg, and 1 degree in Collingwood. Coming up, the wonderful Dubois Piano Quartet, and tonight's beautiful moment, a breathtaking piece requested by you, and tonight, movie music from a Fellini masterpiece. We'll get to all that in just moments. We need to have a look at what's happening on the roads. Let me just get updated, and here is Mark DeLuca.
Well, we have problems on the 401 eastbound express at Leslie. There's a crash in the left lane, and now this just happened, eastbound express approaching the 427 dealing with a crash. Here's some good news. Northbound 427 at Rexdale, we had a crash in the left lane, since cleared up, but that is still backed up to Dixon. And the westbound Gardner on-ramp at Kipling, the right lane is blocked because of flooding. Probably best to avoid that on-ramp for the remainder of the evening. In town, Markham and Shepherd dealing with a problem there, and we have a crash at Scarlet Road south of Eglinton. Receive rates as low as 0.9% or savings up to $9,000 on select models during the Jaguar Impeccable Timing sales event. Visit your Jaguar authorized retailer for details. I'm Mark DeLuca with traffic on the new Classical FM.
Oh. Living with chronic pain changes everything because it changes how you see those things you do every day. Tying your shoes?
Pain.
Climbing those stairs?
Pain.
Vacuuming the house?
So much pain.
Walking around on vacation?
All pain, all the time.
If pain is affecting everything in your life, even the things you like to do, there are options. Book a free health assessment at an Apollo Clinic today or visit apolloclinic.ca.
There are many reasons to shop at Alexanian. Here's reason number 8, the largest selection of waterproof flooring. Come in now for great savings on all waterproof flooring starting from $2.99 a square foot, including waterproof laminate, waterproof luxury vinyl, and our latest addition, beautiful waterproof hardwood in a variety of styles. Plus, do not pay until 2021 OAC. If you're looking for waterproof flooring, Alexanian has you covered. Visit alexanian.com for the location nearest you.
So I just took off on a 6-hour flight to surprise my sister in LA. The good news? The incredible protection and comfortable fit of Depend underwear means I have peace of mind. No bladder leaks or odors to worry about. The bad news? My seatmate's a loud talker. If you or someone you know experiences bladder leaks, know that there are options. Visit Depend.com to learn more and order a free trial kit today. Life's better when you're in it. Be there with Depend.
Experience Mussorgsky's vibrant suite in Ravel's colorful orchestration as the Toronto Symphony Orchestra performs Pictures at an Exhibition. Also, celebrated pianist Sergei Babayan performs Tchaikovsky's first piano concerto, one of history's most romantic, recognizable, and admired works. Join the TSO for a dramatic program of music March 13th through the 15th at Roy Thompson Hall. For tickets to pictures at an exhibition, call 416-593-1285 or visit tso.ca.
Trouble sleeping? Now there's Calmful Sleep, a naturally relaxing nighttime drink. Calmful Sleep features a blend of natural, sleep-promoting ingredients and tastes like a delicious fruit tea. Just add to boiling water, let it fizz, drink, and then sweet dreams. New from Natural Calm Canada. Get yours today where natural health products are sold or go to naturalcalm.ca.
Natural Calm.
Profits go to Thrive, formerly Organics for Orphans.
At Fortunes, imagination is key. I'm Michael DaCosta, and we take ideas from a thought to a beautiful piece of jewelry made just for you. Include a jewel from a family piece or choose from our large collection of precious gems and diamonds. Treat yourself to a creation process that happens right before your eyes. The atmosphere is relaxed and the outcome is exact. Visit Fortunes on Avenue Road just south of the 401 or online at fortunes.com.
Inside every home is a dream waiting to break free. At mortgages.ca, Canada's trusted mortgage professionals, they'll show you how refinancing can lower your mortgage payments and free up cash to pay off debts, renovate your home, buy an investment property, or set up a home equity line of credit before you retire. With property values at all-time highs, now is the time to take advantage.
Refinance for free with the pros at mortgages.ca, Canada's trusted mortgage professionals.
Shen Yun is returning to Toronto. Based in New York, Shen Yun revives 5,000 years of divinely inspired culture that's lost in communist China today. Witness the beauty, strength, and wisdom of this ancient civilization live on stage and be enlightened, inspired, and energized. Catch one of the final 8 performances in Canada, March 24th through 29th at the Four Seasons Centre for the Performing Arts. Get tickets now at shenyun.com before they're sold out.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.ca/Canada. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. It's the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.ca/Canada. That's ziprecruiter.ca/CANADA. ziprecruiter.ca/Canada.
Transforming your home into a concert hall. This is the New Classical 96.3 FM.
Dubois' Quartet in A minor, the third movement. It is 6:31, and you're with the Oasis. The New Classical FM. My name is Mark Wigmore. Time once again for The Beautiful Moment. We do it each and every weeknight at this time, a space within the program to reflect, shake off the anxieties of the day, and listen to a breathtaking piece requested by you. And you can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also email me. It's m.wigmore@mzmedia.com. Tonight's piece, an email from Mark. Thank you, Mark. Great to hear from you. And suggested Fellini's Amarcord, the main theme, and just a wonderful film. It was about the most normal of all the Fellini films that I can remember. Nino Rota, the composer, just a wonderful piece. It's our beautiful moment here on the Oasis. Nominated for 3 Juno Awards at next weekend's event in Saskatchewan. There's The Quiet Voice from the Inscape recording, Alexandra Streliski out of Quebec. That beautiful piece. And she was my very first guest on the Art at the End of the World podcast. Wherever you enjoy podcasts, just search for that, Art at the End of the World, and you will see that she is the very first episode, a hour-long, long-form conversation with Alexandra. Tomorrow on the program, very excited, another piano superstar, this time from the UK, at 3:30, ahead of his Canadian debut at Kerner Hall. James Rhodes will be here. My goodness, what a career, what a life, covering his difficult past and his prolific career as a musician, media personality, best-selling author. We'll talk about the new film that is about his life, starring Andrew Garfield, the big movie star. So lots to talk about tomorrow with James Rhodes at 3:30. And, of course, we'll give you a chance to win tickets once again to Canada Blooms and the most beautiful music of all time. It's what we do right here on the program each and every weekday between 3 and 7. 4 degrees in Toronto, 3 degrees in Cobourg, and 1 degree in Collingwood.
With a CHIP reverse mortgage, you can stay in the home you love and still afford the long retirement you deserve. Go to chipradio.ca. Your home and time are too precious for you to wait.
All right, we need to take one last look at the roads before we turn things over to Kathleen Kagioka. Here is Mark DeLuca.
Two problems to deal with on the 401 eastbound express approaching the 427. We have a stall in the right lane, and eastbound express at Leslie, there's a crash in the left lane. Good news, northbound 427 at Rexdale, we had a crash in the left lane, since been cleared, but still seeing some back up to Dixon. And on the Gardner eastbound at Jarvis, there was a stall in the right lane. That's gone, backed up to South Kingsway still. And the westbound Gardner on-ramp at Kipling, the right lane was blocked because of flooding. Not really much of an improvement all afternoon, but it has cleared, so back to normal on that spot. In town, westbound Gerrard was closed at Main because of a pedestrian being struck. That is now cleared up. And eastbound Dundas at Yonge, the right lane is blocked with a medical emergency. Keep an eye out for that. Love the German engineering of Bosch appliances. Get up to $2,300 in instant rebates, including up to $500 on Bosch dishwashers. Available at Tasco Appliances. I'm Mark DeLuca with traffic on the New Classical FM.
Classical Mornings with Mike and Jean, the perfect way to start your day.
Wednesday's Lotto 649 jackpot is an estimated $9 million. You play Match the Musician, we'll give you a $100 voucher to try and beat the odds. I'm Mike Duncan.
And I'm Jean Stillwell. Violinist Angel Wang joins us to talk about her Winter Waltz concert at Kerner Hall.
Plus, Andy's got